Well, he is an author and lecturer, and perhaps he is best known for his memoir, Once Upon a Time When We Were Coloreds, about his experience of growing up in the racially charged Mississippi Delta of the United States. I'm delighted to welcome Clifton Taulbert to Africa 54. Welcome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here, sir.
Yes. Now, every time we hear, the stories of the South, of course, we have all these sorts of the images. And anytime you meet someone who grew up over there, of your generation, it's always, natural to want to ask, how was it as a child growing up there? What are your memories?
And that's a good question, because from the ages of 3 to 12, those are your formative years. Your brains are working overtime, and you're putting things in place, some that you wish were not, but they're there. And during those years growing up in the Mississippi Delta, it was a time that legal segregation defined. Literally, it was the law of the land. It defined everything, basically. And it really helped to set up your movement, but it also defined your expectations of yourself. And that's a very critical part of it, because even though slavery was over and legal segregation has ended, the emotional baggage is still there. We're still unpacking that emotional baggage.
Now, this is a critical question here. How can you move forward in life despite that kind of background? Because you don't seem like you're chained back into those years. You've moved on.
Yeah, there is a movement forward. There must be, because we have too much to give. There are too many gifts embedded within all humankind that if we don't take possession of those gifts, we have problems. But how did I move forward? I was blessed to live in a community where the elders of that community were future focused. And those two words are key, future focused. They were looking toward a future that they had envisioned but not experienced, but they wanted to prepare us for that. And because I was able to experience what I now call the habits of their hearts, it really laid the foundation for me to be able to look at the world as it was, but at the same time, dream of a world that I could help to make.
And, while you grew up there, there are many others who also grew up in colonialism in Africa, for example. Your story is it resonates globally. Can you share with us what your advice is to all those who may have had these kind of experiences?
You're quite right in your assessment. My life story in the Mississippi Delta is a story of a human being not being able to maximize his or her potential as a result of the rules and regulation of someone else. And that type of living, that style, can happen anywhere in the world. And when it does create problems. But in every problem, there also lurks behind that problem an opportunity to really move beyond that and to make a tremendous change in your life. And that, to me, is perhaps one of the greatest things.
In your book Invitation, you kind of mentioned something very critical that is common to all of us.
Yeah, I call it the lingering lessons of race and place. In the book The Invitation, it gave me an opportunity, if you will, over a 5-year period of time to experience my life along with a Caucasian lady, almost 90 years of age, who represented the generation that wrote the rules of legal segregation. But over those 5 years, that our paths crossed, she intentionally broke every one of those rules. So that has left me with a clear picture that the past does not have to stay in concrete, that we can get our sledgehammer, we can get whatever we need, and we can break those things up. And in that breaking up, we can take that residue and create a mountain upon which to stand and to declare the best of ourselves.
And we can all do that if
most definitely.
If you're determined.
No matter where we are.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Taulbert. Now, Mr. Taulbert is an author and lecturer. We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54, and check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com.